Hey, we're Movements, and you're watching Rock Sound. We had arrangements with somebody, I think, but the deal was like we would have had to be out by like 6 a.m. and we weren't even going to get there till like past midnight. And so we were just like, no, we can't do that. And so we just put out a tweet being like, hey, if anybody could put us up, like, we'd appreciate it. It's not the first time we've had to do something like that. And people are usually pretty generous on Twitter. So
yeah, it happens quite often.
Yeah. So we just went to someone's house, and it was actually pretty nice. So. Oh man, we've been trying to as much as we can. I love Fortnite. So does Ira and Austin. Spencer's getting into Fortnite, but Spencer's more of a PUBG guy. But yeah, we've been trying to play it here and there. And I think the other day, like what you might be referring to is we hooked it up to our Sprinter's TV, and we were playing it while we were driving, which was cool, but also incredibly difficult. Learn how to build. It's like it's your best friend in Fortnite. If you can't build right, you're fucked. Am I allowed to cuss? Okay. Yeah, you're fucked if you can't build. What's your tip?
I have no tips. I'm so bad at that game.
Yeah, we're all pretty bad.
I'm horrible. I literally just get killed instantly.
Ira's the best of the game so far.
Yeah,
but the rest of us are pretty shit.
I've killed one person ever, and they were just as bad as I was. So. Yeah. For like the first time when I was like, I think I was 12. I can't believe my parents just let me just go run around with like, thousands of people at 12 years old.
I was like 13, my first Warped Tour.
Yeah, it was a good year. Like Paramore played. Who else played? It was like Pennywise and like Bad Religion played too, and it was really cool to see like some of the older bands. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I went to Warped Tour almost every single summer from the time I was like 13 until probably like 18 or 19. And I loved it, man. It was just like, that's the one thing I would look forward to every summer. And I definitely love summertime more than any other time of the year, because I really like warm weather, and I really like not, having to, at that time, be in school and stuff. Like, I was just stoked to not be having to deal with anything. So, yeah, man, I loved Warped Tour. I think, like, my most fond memory from Warped Tour was, like, seeing Under Oath for the first time. The first Warped Tour I ever went to, I saw Under Oath, and it was in Chula Vista in San Diego. And it was just so hot and so gross, but it was so sick seeing Under Oath.
Yeah, I went that year, and they played at like 10 a.m. and I missed it, and I was so bummed. Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah, we have fans come up to us like all the time, telling us their stories and giving us sort of like their, I guess you could say testimonies behind their experience with Alzheimer's or dementia. I get a lot of, it's interesting because I get a lot of parents coming up to me, parents that have just brought their kids to the show. Maybe their kids are like 13, 14 and obviously still need that parental accompaniment. They bring their kids to the show and then they hear us play Deadly Dole, and then afterwards I've had multiple parents come up and be like, like my father or my mother, my children's grandparents or whatever suffered from this or died from this, and they thank us for playing music and talking about it, because it's not something that's really talked about very much, and especially not amongst, I guess, people of our generation. Like the younger community doesn't necessarily consider the fact that Alzheimer's and dementia are very real possibilities, and that if you haven't really dealt with those before, if you haven't seen the effect of those on a family or a loved one, I don't think that it's that understandable yet. And so we think it's really, really important to open up that conversation and to talk about it, because that's the only way that we're going to work towards finding a cure and fixing this, is that if younger generations are getting involved in, showing that awareness and, showing that activism within their communities and whatnot. And I think that what we're doing is working so far. You know, I have people come up to me all the time saying like, hey, like, thank you for doing this. I want to get involved. Like, what can I do? And that's honestly like, that's all I really could ask for, you know?
We haven't really started writing yet.
We haven't.
We're gonna start like this summer after we get back from this tour, honestly. But I'm excited.
It's kind of tough to write on the road. We've tried it before. Like we definitely did a little bit of writing for Feel Something when we were touring last year, and it works, but it also is like really difficult too because, you know, there's so much else going on, and we obviously aren't set up as well as we could be trying to, you know, record things in the van or you know, find time to really get what we want to get done. You know what I mean? So I guess we'll try and write when we're on the road, but it's probably going to end up being something where we all just get together on our free time when we're not on tour and just sit down and try and come up with stuff.
It's definitely how it's going to be the most productive for sure. Yeah.